Hello everyone, the live stream is starting in about 2 minutes. I'm just waiting for people to join in, and then about 2 minutes we will get started with the Envision Glasses. Hello everyone, welcome to the webinar Getting Started with the Envision Glasses. My name is Ferkan, I am the product designer at Envision. Today I will be guiding you through the Envision Glasses, everything about the unboxing, what is included, what are the gestures like, what are the features on the Envision Glasses. You can ask your questions in the chat, in the Q&A, or at the very end, you're able to raise your hand and we can interact with each other to talk about any questions that you still have. At the very end, you also Kartik, the co-founder of Envision, will join us, so you can also ask him any questions that remain. So as I said, it's going to be a quick video about getting started with the Envision Glasses. Let's start with the very first thing. When you order the Envision Glasses, what do you get? Firstly, you'll open the box and you see two boxes, one smaller box with the TI frame, and then another bigger box which has the Envision Glasses body and the charger and a booklet inside of it. Let's first start with the TI frame. This is the smaller titanium frame. Simply a plastic. Open the sides, push it out, and in that one you will have the frame. You get out the frame, and this is the part that is coming on top of the Envision Glasses body, and this allows it to be a complete product. And I will also explain in a minute how to attach this frame or the other Smith Optics frame, the more sturdy one with the glasses, how to put them on the Envision Glasses body. I would also like to add, if there are still questions, don't hesitate to write them up in the chat, or later on you can always contact us. Now I'm going to start with the Envision Glasses body. I'll take off the lid, and the first thing you will see is a booklet. This booklet has, in Braille, it will say go to envisionglass.com. When you go to envisionglass.com, it will explain to you the 5 steps to pair the Envision glasses with the Envision app. Additionally, it's also stated here, so it will tell you visually in 5 steps what to do, which is downloading the app, logging in, pairing the app with the glasses, and in this way it's also easier to connect to a Wi-Fi network. Below that, you will have the Envision Glasses body. I'll take that out for now, and below the box, so this is the box, and below it you will find a smaller white box, this one. And when I open the lid of this smaller box, I can get the charging cable. And I would also like to add for this charging cable, if you have a fast charge adapter at home, definitely recommend using it because it charges the Envision glasses much faster, about in 30 minutes, about to 50, 60, 70%. So that is absolutely great. If you're in a rush, you need to charge it quickly, definitely recommend using a fast charger. So we have the Envision glasses body right now here. This consists of the camera, the internals, the speaker and everything. Let me turn it off for a second. And at the very front, you have the front camera on the Envision glasses. At the very end, there's the speaker and the USB-C outlet. Here you can charge the Envision glasses, and it is also foldable, so you can fold the glasses. In this case, what I'm going to do is attach, if you feel the Envision glasses body, there is a hinge, and you can actually click the button here. And this button should be placed right on the titanium frame. So there's a circular part which you can feel on the titanium frame. This one. And this one should go on top of the Envision glasses body. Let me turn it off immediately. Yes. So what I do, it's now clicked on. I can show you guys once again. So I have the Envision glass body. What I do, the easiest way is to hold it in your right hand, have the titanium frame in the left one. With the circular part, hold it with your left thumb, and with your right hand, hold the button with your right thumb, and then place it upon each other. And once it's on top of each other, all you have to do is hold it with your right thumb and make sure it doesn't fall out, because all that's left is that to turn the titanium frame clockwise. You will hear a click, and that means the Envision glasses are now, that the frame is attached to the body of the Envision glasses. One thing I would like to mention as well, at the very front of the Envision glass body, there's a glass. In this, the screen is projected. So some people might have some res vision who can still rely on that visual, so you can see stuff, but mainly it's an audio first designed device. It may also be that the screen that you can already see is not perfectly aligned. If you hold the Envision glasses body, you can still rotate the glass plate just a little bit, and that might be just the right amount for you to actually see something, if that is already something what you would want. The very side of the Envision glasses, this is the touchpad. This is the main way of interacting with the Envision glasses. It starts at the hinge, so where the Envision glasses fold, right here, up to the small part which comes on top of your ears. And on the Envision glasses, everything is being done with this, with the touchpad, except for one button, which is on the inside at the back of the Envision glasses. And that's this part. This is the power button, and this is the only physical button on the Envision glasses. And you can feel, it's a small rubber dot on the Envision glass that you can feel. So this is the only physical button. That is mainly the Envision glasses, the frame. Unfortunately, I don't have any Smith Optics frame with me, but those are the more sturdy frames with glasses that you can interchange if that is what you want.
Category 1 of 8. This is the main screen to turn the device to sleep and check the battery time and date.
I talked about the touchpad, the power button, the USB port on the glasses. Let me give me a second. Yes. So now you have the Envision glasses, and it's attached to the frame is attached to the Envision glasses body. What I already what I already showed you in the booklet is what I will do now. If it's the first time I have the Envision glasses, I will open the app. In the Envision app, there is a glasses tab. I will go to the glasses tab. On there, you can do. There's a button start pairing process, and in 4 steps, you will be guided through the step of connecting the Envision glasses with the app. First step is attaching the frame, the second one turning it on, and I've already turned my glasses on, and with the app, which mine is already also connected already with, I will connect it. You will hear a sound on the Envision app and on the Envision glasses that they're connected to each other. And after that, because there's no keyboard or anything on the Envision glasses, it's easier to have the app. And with the app, you can select a Wi-Fi connection around you, and this will allow you to connect to a network. After all of that is done, what you do is you complete the last step, and it will start playing an introductory tutorial. And this introductory tutorial mainly explains to you what are the gestures and what these gestures are doing. I will skip that part and explain to you what the gestures are. And so, as I showed you before, this is the touchpad, and I will wear my glasses now actually, which is easier. So I put on my Envision glasses, and the body is on the side. The touchpad is on the right side of my head, and I do everything with my right hand. So one gesture on the Envision glass is tap. I tap once. This, what it does, it's mainly also very familiar for people who use VoiceOver or any screen reader on an Android or an iPhone. If I tap once, it does a play or a pause of that certain feature, so you know where in the screen you are. If I do a double tap, it accesses or enters a certain screen. When I do a tap and hold, it explains me a feature. So I will later on, whenever in the inside the menu of the Envision glasses, I will show you what it does. But a tap and hold mainly provides you information about a certain feature, what you can do, and what the different gestures are, which is very helpful in my opinion. And then the tap and hold. So we have a swipe forward and a swipe back. A swipe forward allows you to go to the next screen. A swipe back allows you to go to the next to the previous screen. Additional to that, we have a swipe down, and this exits the screen or goes to a previous screen. So I do a double tap to enter a screen, and I do a swipe down to leave a certain screen. I've had the tap, so a single tap, a double tap, a tap and hold, a swipe forward, a swipe back, a swipe down. And then there's a two-finger tap, and a two-finger tap is for special actions. Sometimes it's to change the preferences of a certain feature, which I will also come back to later in the instant text or the scan text. I can do a two-finger tap. In the reader, I can do a two-finger tap and export the text. And then finally, there's one more gesture, which is the two-finger swipe down. And this allows me to go back to the home screen. Today, I'm not going to cover all of the features in a very extensive way, but mainly the most important ones. And as I said earlier, if you have any questions later on, just ask them. Feel free. We love to interact with you people and see what's on your mind and how we can be helpful, whether you have the Envision glasses or you don't have them yet. Let's start with the Envision glasses as of now. So my app is connected with my Envision glasses are connected with the Envision app. I can see this in the app, and in this way, I'm able to see, okay, it's connected. I'm connected to a Wi-Fi network, and I can start using the glasses. What I do is I do a double tap, and I start at the home screen. The home screen, I will always start at the home screen, and it's like a lock screen, the start screen where you start. From here on, I can swipe forwards.
Identify. Find. Call. Device settings. Feature preferences. Help.
What I just did is I swiped forward until I heard this sound. And this sound shows me actually that I can't go any further, and these are all the categories in the main screen.
Feature preferences. Device settings. Call. Find. Identify. Read. Home.
Now I'm back at home, and at the home screen, I can do double tap.
Home. 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 It is 11:15. Today is Saturday, the 21st of November. Battery level is at 83%. You are not connected to a Wi-Fi network.
So as you can see, I'm here in the home screen.
Finger swipe down gesture to set your device to sleep mode. Read. Home.
I'm here in the home screen, and this home screen shows me the time, the date, what the battery level is, and whether I'm connected to a Wi-Fi network.
Read. Home.
if I'm on the home screen, I can also see the version of my Envision glasses. So I will do a 2-finger tap. And if I do a 2-finger tap, it will show me what the version is. In this case, I haven't not yet connected the internet, so I will connect to a Wi-Fi and also show you how to connect to a Wi-Fi if later on you go somewhere else and you would like to connect to a Wi-Fi first. So what you do is you first go to device settings. I double tap on device settings and then I swipe forward. I double tap on Wi-Fi. And what it does now is it searches for Wi-Fi connections. So I double tap. And now it gives me a list of all the Wi-Fi networks around me. And there are 2 ways of connecting, actually 3 ways of connecting to the to a Wi-Fi network. One is by doing a QR code, and the other one is by doing it through the app. So I could go to my Envision app right now, and I could find for a network and connect to a Wi-Fi network. What I'm going to do now, which is easier for me, is to go to letsenvision.com/QR. This is a website which I fill in the password of my network, and this allows me, once I scan the Wi-Fi QR, to connect to a Wi-Fi network. So I firstly swipe forward, and then I select my. I will double tap on the network of my name. I double tap.
Use the Envision app to connect. Scan a QR code to connect.
I swipe forward and double tap on QR code.
Go to envisionglasses.com/QR to create a QR code. Make sure your screen is visible. Scan the QR code with your Envision glasses. You will hear a sound once the QR code is detected.
Just waiting for the Wi-Fi to connect, and now I'm connected. So what I just did is I went to the device settings, double tapped, swiped forward to go to the Wi-Fi settings, and then in the Wi-Fi settings I chose my Wi-Fi network, and in there I have the option to use the Envision app or to use a QR code, and I scanned the QR code as in front of me, and now I'm connected to the internet. There are also some features that you don't require any internet, such as instant text for the offline mode, and the find objects and the Explorer, for the Explorer around features. You don't need any internet, but I will later get back to it. So now we're at home, and let's first start with the most exciting part, I think, with the read category. So I can do a swipe forward, and now it's read. And as I told you before, I can do a tap and hold now. So when I do a when I do a tap and hold, it shows me what the features are, what I can do. And to enter read, I do a double tap.
Instant text.
I enter the read category, I have the instant text, and I swipe forward.
Scan text.
I swipe forward again.
Batch scan.
So these are the 3 features in the read category. I can swipe forward again. As you hear, it's a sound again that shows me there's nothing else in the read category. Let's first start with the instant text. The instant text is, I think, one of the greatest features when it comes to OCR and recognizing text, whether that's in front of you. And what it does is it picks up any text that is in front of you. So this feature is great for when you're outside, you want to know what is around you. I can quickly showcase that. So when I do a double tap on instant text, right now it creates Wi-Fi QR code. So as you notice, I double tapped and immediately it started speaking out everything that is in front of me, the Wi-Fi QR code that is in front of me on the screen. After that, the booklet that I was holding in front of me of the Envision glasses. That is the instant text, and what I said earlier is a great way of quickly knowing what is around you, to find some envelopes to see, okay, is this the right one? Is this the right information? And then once you know you have the right information or the right paper in front of you, I recommend using the scan text. and I go to scan text by swiping forward once.
Scan text.
On scan text, I can do a double tap again. Firstly, before I do a double tap on scan text, I would also want to show you and also make sure for myself to see whether text detection is on. Because text detection is also a really nice feature that allows me to see if there's any text in front of me when I am scanning a text. As I said before with the gestures, you can do a 2-finger tap, which I will do now on scan text.
Text detection is disabled.
And as you hear, it says text detection is enabled.
Swipe down to confirm your selection.
As you hear, the text detection is disabled. And there will be a few times like this where I'll be talking and the voiceover will be interrupting, but I will try to, not to talk when the voiceover is, when the screen reader is speaking on the Envision Glasses, because it mainly also every time explains me where I'm at and what I need to do to change the setting. So I was just at text detection is disabled. And if I do a double tap, it's enabled.
Text detection is enabled. Double tap to disable. Swipe down to confirm your selection.
And what it says, if I want to disable it again, I can do a double tap, or if I want to confirm it, I can swipe down. In the scan text, there's actually another preference, and I go to the next preference by swiping forward.
Automatic language detection is disabled.
Right now, automatic language detection is disabled.
Double tap to enable. Swipe down to go back. Swipe forward or back to change other preferences.
And the automatic language detection is disabled. For me right now, I'm mainly reading English text, which are all English. So I have it disabled. If it is the case that you read multiple languages, whatever language it is, or different languages in one document, I definitely recommend on having this on, so it will recognize the different languages and not force to read everything in English. For now, I'll keep this on disabled, and then I swipe back.
Scan text.
Now I'm in the scan text, and I will quickly demonstrate how the scan text works. So what I first do is I have a paper here in front of me. It's just a list with the features on the Envision Glasses, and I'm at the scan text. If I don't know where I am in the Envision Glasses, I can do a single tap.
Scan text.
So I'm at scan text, or I can do a tap and hold.
Scan text. Scan a document or a long piece of text. 2-finger tap for more options. You can enable or disable text detection, which detects how many words are appearing in front of you. Double tap again to take a scan of the text.
So once again, it explains me all the gestures, what I need to do to get something done. We get back to the scan text. So I will sit a bit more towards this. What I do with scan text is I double tap.
Scan text. Scan text.
It turns on the camera, and what it does now is it detects words. Right now, you can see that I'm not holding the document right in front of me. So this really allows me to tell if I'm holding the document right or not, or if I'm looking at the right direction. It might be that the glasses, which we notice sometimes with users, is that it's too high on their nose, so it always directs towards the sky. So make sure that the glasses are really actually on top, of your nose. It's facing right in front of you. And with my document, I place it more towards, to the front. And as you can hear, it picks up the words and it starts beeping. This frequency of beeps shows me that there are words in front of me. And first I know, okay, I can scan this document or not. And what it does now, you hear a very low frequency, or a very slow frequency is what I would want to say, because it detects a few words of books that I have laying around here. And I know it is not the text that I would want to read. So what I'm doing now, back with my left hand, I hold the document in front of me, make sure the beeps are higher, and then I, with my right hand, do a double tap. It gives a providing sound.
Envision Glasses feature list. Instant text. This function is intended to read.
As you hear, it says the reader. So every text that I scan in scan text opens in a reader. And this is also the difference with instant text. For instant text, you just scan around, it gives you the it speaks out the text, that's it. For scan text, it opens the reader. And in the reader, what I just did is I tapped once, which pauses the text. In between the scanning text and the reader, you hear the small processing sound. So you're aware that it is processing, and once it's done, it opens in the reader. So if I would want to continue to read, I do a tap, single tap.
This function is intended to read short pieces of text like room numbers, street signs, food packaging, etc. This works with a live video feed, so you can scan around and the glasses will continue to speak out whatever text.
Tap, single tap again, it pauses. So let's say I scan this text and I want to read the last feature. What I can do is I can swipe forward to go through the text.
Document tab is enabled. This function now describes when you send video call.
Yes, video call.
Lessons for TT. Envision allows you to make a video call from within the glasses to a friend or a family.
Great. Now I know what video call is about, which I will also explain later on. So this is the scan text feature. And the great thing is what I already said, it opens in the reader. I have more controls over the text. I can swipe back and reread the text again. All of this is great. But let's say I have this list of features and I would want to make adjustments to it or use it somewhere else, store it somewhere. And the great thing about that is I can do a 2-finger tap. Processing sound again, and a success sound.
Text exported successfully. Envision allows you to make a video call.
So what I did now is exported the text, and if I open the Envision app on my phone, in the Envision app, if you go to more options, there's the new feature that we introduced about a few weeks ago, Envision Library. In the library, you can import from glasses, and the text that I just read here will be imported to the Envision app, and from there I can always read it again, which is a great feature. So you don't have to always scan every paper that you have, but you can store it in your personal Envision library that is saved locally on your phone. That is the reader on the Envision glasses. I will swipe down once.
Swipe down again to exit.
So only in the reader, just to make sure you don't accidentally exit. Just to make sure you don't accidentally exit the reader, like the text that you've scanned. In the reader only, you have to swipe down twice.
Swipe scan text.
And now I'm back at the scan text feature. Let's go to the next one, which is the batch scan. Batch scan is similar to scan text, but with scan text, I'm scanning one page, I'll get the outcome, I can export this, and that's it. But let's say I would want to read a book or something, or I would want to actually I have 2 documents here, and I would want to scan them both, maybe export them both, or I would want to read more documents or even pages of a book. And I don't want to scan it each time, read it, scan it each time. I could also scan it after each other and then just scroll through it and read a book with my Envision glasses. So also in the same way, but with the batch scan, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disable the text detection. So I do a 2-finger tap.
Text detection is enabled.
Double tap.
Double tap to disable. Text detection is disabled.
Now it's disabled.
Double tap to enable. Swipe down to confirm your selection.
I swipe down.
Batch scan. Scan tap batch scan. Text detection is batch
Yes.
scan.
Now I'm back at batch scan, and I know that my text detection is disabled. And what I explained before is I did a double tap, it detects the text, and I do a double tap again. In this case, with batch scan, and this is definitely, the text detection is something you have to play around with. Some people, most of our users love text detection because it really shows, okay, these are the amount of words it detects. But sometimes it might also be that you're actually really, you're getting to know how to hold the document, and you might require the text detection not anymore. With this, what I do, I'm at batch scan now. So I tap once, it tells me I'm at batch scan. I hold the document in front of me. I do a double tap.
Batch scan. First page scan. Double tap again to scan the second page. 2-finger tap to finish scanning and open the text in the reader.
So in here, what it just did, I did a double tap on batch scan. It did a countdown. So 1, 2, and then it takes the picture. These 2 seconds quickly allow me to place the document in front of the camera, which is located on the right, and it takes a picture, tells me the first page is scanned. So I scanned one page, let's scan another one, and I do that by doing a double tap.
Page 2 scan. Double tap again to scan another page. 2-finger tap to finish scanning and open the text in the reader.
So I scan now 2 pages. I can scan more if I would want to, but let's stick to 2 for now. And I do a 2-finger tap.
Reader, page 1, Envision Glasses feature list, instant text.
Actually, the same as in the scan text, I did a 2-finger tap on the 2-finger single tap. I will also want to really show that it's only a 2-finger single tap. The double taps are only with 1 finger. So I did a 2-finger single tap, and it's provided me a success sound, so I know the scanning is complete. It opens in the reader again, and in the reader, I can scroll through the text again. So what I just did is I scrolled forward by swiping forward again. So I scrolled down by swiping forward, and now I came to the page 2. And in here, I tap once or I tap again to play it. And then I can tap again and do a single tap, and it will pause the text. And here it's the same way in the reader as in the scan text. I'm able to scan text, open it in the reader. If I want the text saved or I want to read it another time, I do a 2-finger tap again. It saves the text, and I can import it on my Envision app. Let's go out of the reader by swiping down twice and go back to instant text again. Let's go back to instant text again. And on instant text, there's also the preference. And to open the preferences of a certain feature, we do a 2-finger tap.
Offline mode is disabled.
As you see here, offline mode is disabled.
Tap to enable offline mode. Swipe down to confirm your selection.
But let's say I am outside, I do not want to connect to my hotspot, or I might be somewhere where the internet is really bad. I can do a double tap.
Offline mode is enabled. Double tap to disable offline mode. Swipe down to confirm your selection.
So in this case, offline mode is enabled. This means that the instant text can be used offline, so I don't require any internet. And if you ask me when to use offline mode or when to use online mode, my opinion is that if you have a great connection at home, my Wi-Fi here is pretty well, so then it's more accurate to use online, the offline mode disabled. The offline mode, when you enable it, it is much faster, but it might be a little bit less accurate, but it is also great for outside when you quickly need something quick or you need some information, and then the offline mode is great for that. And in the same way, I swipe down, I'm back at the instant text. I know that my instant text is now an offline feature. So I can double tap again and hold a document in front of me.
Get started, download it, install the Envision app, log in on the Envision app, and instant
Same,
text.
it says get started, download and install the Envision app, log in on the Envision app, and it speaks out everything that is in front of me. That is mainly the reading part of the Envision Glasses. Like that. These are mainly the reading features. Let's go to the other features. I do that by swiping down once, and I'm back in the read category. Swipe forward, identify, double tap.
Describe scene.
Now I'm at the describe scene, and this describe scene, let's describe this, what is in front of me, do a double tap. That is exactly correct. I have a laptop here that is sitting on top of the table. So in the describe scene, I did a double tap. It does a countdown again, which allows me to, keep my head straight, point where I want to have this scene described, and then it tells me what it is. If I missed what it was described, I do a tap again.
An open laptop computer sitting on top of a table.
So that is the describe scene, very easy and very easy forward. So also a great feature just to know what is around you, what you're looking at. Swipe down once, swipe forward, detect colors. This feature allows to detect colors, which is great for sorting your dirty laundry or anything. Or if you want to know if you're wearing the right shoes with the right t-shirt. I'm mostly wearing white and black, so. See the dark blue, the navy one, the Yeah, once again, because it will speak out all the colors in front of you, you can do a tap to pause the detect colors, and get the item that you want to have the color of. As you saw, the Envision booklet is a dark navy color, so it knows it's a dark navy color and speaks this out. For the color detection, I would want to add that the lighting is very important around you. So make sure the light, you're not in a very dark room, and make sure it is really placed in front of you when you're looking for a certain t-shirt. And the best one is if there's light from outside. That way, the color detection is very accurate, or more accurate. Let me put it like that. I can tap again. And now I did a swipe down again, and I'm back at detect colors. I swipe down again. I'm now at identify. I swipe forward once. I'm now at the find function. The find function is great for finding objects. So I do a double tap. Find object. Double tap again. What it does is it first looks for backpack. If you would want to have another object you want to look for, let's do a swipe forward.
Bicycle, chair,
I do have a cup here somewhere.
bottle, cup, chair.
Yeah, I have a chair on the right. So let's try the chair. So now I'm looking at you guys. There's no chair in front of me. And if I look to the right, there's a chair and it gives a beep. So this shows me, swipe down again. So what I do is I double tap on the find objects. I choose the objects that I'm actually looking for. And in this case, it was a chair. If I look towards that object, or if I think my object that I'm looking for might be there, it will provide a beep sound. So the sound which will tell you, okay, there's a chair over there. Also for this feature, it really depends on lighting, and yeah, I would definitely try it out a few times and see if it works for you. In my opinion, also when we did a webinar yesterday, it worked great. It found the cup, the chair, and everything that was around me, and definitely a great feature for if you lost something. There's the find people again. Unfortunately, I'm here at home on my own, so there's no people to look for. But also in the same way for find people is double tap on find people and look around to see which people are in front of you. If there is a person, it will say, it will give a beep again, like an object. If that person is someone you taught a face of in the Envision app on the Glasses tab, which I will also come back to later, then it will also speak out their name, whether it's that person. Excuse me. That was the find people. Explore. And then the last feature in the find category is the explore around. I double tap on this.
Explore. Laptop. Laptop. Book.
So what I do now is I look around and it finds my books, it finds my laptop, my TV, swipe down again. So the explore is compared to the find objects. With find objects, you mainly choose a specific object. With explore around, you can just look around and see what is around you. With this one as well, it's really dependent on the lighting and what it does detect. It's also one of the, it's a really great feature because you can immediately know what is around you. This was the explore, swipe back, find people, and the find object. And these are the features on the find category. And then we're coming to the last one. Now we're at the call feature. The call feature is connected to the ally. And what we refer to as an Envision ally is someone you can call via the Envision Glasses. And I think this is also one of the greatest features here on the Envision Glasses, besides reading, is that you whenever you're stuck somewhere or you're reading a very important document and you just need someone else to look with you while keeping your hands free, then this feature is great. What you do is you double tap on call, and then there's a call an ally, a double tap on call an ally. Quickly checks whether I have allies, and I see that I have Kartik as an ally here. And I can double tap. Once I double tap, Kartik will get a notification on his phone. He taps on the notification and it opens the screen so he can see whatever I am seeing here, and I can hear his voice here, so he can explain to me what I need to do. This is a great feature that we actually also use at the office with one of our colleagues. So when he comes to the office, and before this, we will pick him up at the office as a visually impaired colleague of us. And now what we do is we simply call him with the Ally app. He calls us, we pick it up, and we can exactly show him, okay, go to the left, go to the right. And I think this is a great feature, what most people, what most of our users really liked. And we've seen users using it on their bike, when going to the zoo, when showing around things. And it's a really awesome feature. So if I go back now, back again, now I'm at the call feature. I will get back to the Ally a little bit later, the Envision Ally app. This was the, so we just talked about the read category, identify, find, and call. Besides that, there are 3 more categories, which is the device settings, feature preferences, and help. And I will not go through all of them intensively, but let's go through a few of them. And then again, if there are questions later on, let's interact with each other and see if there are any questions left. Let's go start with device settings. If I double tap on device settings, in here I can change the audio, and I think this is one an important one that I can show you around. So audio, I double tap. I can change the volume, or I can change the speed of the voice of the TTS. So let's change the speed. 40%, 45%, 50%. What I do now is on the change speed, I double tapped, and now I can swipe forward. 55%, 60%, 65%, 70%, 75%, 60%, and swipe back. 45%, 40%, 35%, 40%, 30%. Let's put it on 35%. That is okay for me. I'm not really fast with the TTS. Swipe back, swipe down, I'm sorry, and then swipe back. Now I'm the change volume. So the same way how I change the talk to speed engine is I do a double tap on change volume. Swiping back allows me again to change the volume, increase it or decrease it. But in this case, I can, let me put it up, so increase it. I swipe down again, I am back at audio, I can swipe forward. This is the Wi-Fi connection that I showed earlier. And the nice thing here is if I'm on Wi-Fi, it will also tell me whether I'm connected. And it just told me that spoke out that I'm connected to the Wi-Fi network here at my home. Swipe forward again, the Bluetooth, and Bluetooth is also really nice because I can connect my Bluetooth earphones like my AirPods with the Envision Glasses, so I'm sure that no one else can hear what I'm hearing here. Additionally to the Bluetooth, there's also the possibility of using earphones with a cable, but then make sure that you either use a USB-C to audio jack converter, or there might be even some earphones with a USB-C port outlet, so you can charge them to the image inside the USB-C port at the back. Let's go forward. Now the language. As of now, we have about 5-6 languages on the Envision Glasses. And also regarding the languages, please let us know if there's any languages that you would like or not. We're trying to add that every time, which is also something I will mention on later. What you're seeing right now in the Envision Glasses is what is happening now, but every month we're improving the features, listening to you guys to see how we can improve the UX of it and bring new features to the Envision Glasses. The language is the same way. I double tap, I swipe forward, I double tap again, it changes the language, and then brings me back to the home screen where all languages are changed. The display. So what in the very beginning of this webinar, I mentioned the display. The display, there's a small display here in the front, and some of our users actually in the very beginning when we did the testing they showed that, yeah, the display, I see just a little bit of it, but it's actually a little bit annoying. So if that is the case, just double tap on display and double tap again. So I can also turn off the display. If you don't need the display, if you don't see it, if you don't need it, turn it off, that's fine. That's for the display. I swipe forward again. The software, so as I said before, it tells me the version that I am on. And this is what I said before, is that make sure that you're on the latest update, because every time we improve the Envision Glasses, so you get a better version with every new update. Swipe forward again. This is the power. That is one thing I would want to talk about, and I haven't mentioned before, is the sleeping and awaking of the Envision Glasses. Let's get my Envision Glass off. As I said before, there's the power button at the very back. If I hold this for 6 seconds, it turns on the Envision Glasses. If I want to turn it off, I hold it for 3 seconds. So turning it on is 6 seconds. If I turn it off, I hold it for 3 seconds. I will hear a sound that it is turning off, and then the glasses are turned off totally. What I would recommend, especially if you're using a lot, is just to put it to sleep. Easiest way is fold it in, that's it. I hear a small sound cue that I know, okay, my Envision glasses are going to sleep. If it is, if you're bringing these glasses somewhere on a weekend and you don't want the charge to be gone, or you simply want to save battery, then turn off the glasses by holding it for 3 seconds. Another way of putting the glass to sleep is by tapping once on the power button. Again, I hear a sound cue, and now I know my glasses are sleeping. And the same way, I can also tap once, and it's on again. And then with the same cue, I know, okay, my Envision glasses are awake. And then the final way of putting your glass to sleep is going to the power, power here, and
Put your Envision glasses to sleep.
Do a double tap here, and it will put it to sleep.
Battery level power.
Let's go back. This was the device settings. The feature preferences I will not talk about in this because it is almost the same as the feature that I explained in the read. So when I go to instant text, I do a 2-finger tap, it opens feature preferences. And this category mainly allows you to do it easier, just change all the preferences that you want. Let's go to the help. In the help category, I mainly want to talk really quickly about the playground. Might it be that you forgot about a certain gesture or anything? The playground is a way to practice these gestures. So do a double tap on help.
Playground.
Double tap on playground.
Playground. Playground starts in 3 seconds. To exit the playground, do a 2-finger swipe down.
Now I'm inside the playground, and what the playground does is it tells me what a certain gesture does. So let's do a swipe forward.
Swipe forward. This gesture allows you to move to the next screen.
A swipe back.
Swipe back. This gesture allows you to move to the previous screen. Swipe down. This gesture allows you to exit. Single tap. This gesture allows you to play, pause, or repeat. Single tap. Single tap. Double tap. This gesture allows you to activate or enter a screen. Swipe back. This gesture, 2-finger tap. This gesture allows you to open more options in a feature.
So every gesture that you do, it tells me what it is that it does, and it's a great way to just know, okay, these are the gestures and what it does. To exit the playground, do a 2-finger swipe down.
Swipe forward. Home.
And now I'm back at the home screen. So I've exited the playground. So this is the categories, the features on the Envision glasses. I've talked about the Ally. The Ally is a free app on the Play Store and the App Store for both versions. And the Ally, what I do is by going on the Envision app, I go to the Glasses tab, and then I go to Envision Ally. On there, I can either send an invitation link, or I can send add someone's email. And the other person that has the Envision Ally app, they can download the app, they can register there, and then they will be able to receive a notification from you people as the Envision Glasses users, what we call the Envisioners. So that is the Envision Ally app. You can add an Envisioner from the Envision app itself. Additionally, I would also want to say that with the Envision Glasses, the Envision glass that that you buy, you will get a lifetime subscription with the account that you're connected to. So the first time, if you connect with your Envision app, you will get a lifetime subscription. In the help section on the help category on the Envision Glasses, you can also see tutorials. So if I swipe forward and double tap, I can hear again some tutorials about instant text, the scan text, and all the features that are on the Envision Glasses. But we also have a help center on let'senvision.com. Additionally, we have a few YouTube videos on youtube.com/envisionai, and we're adding new videos every time. Also for this one, if you have any videos that you would like extra, or you need some extra explanation about a feature or certain guests that you would like more explanation about, please let us know. I think for now I have covered most of the elements of the Envision Glasses. So everything from the unboxing, the gestures, reading a book, reading one document, multiple documents, what is included, how the lifetime subscription works, what the menu structure is. And for now, I think let's start with the questions. I will look through the chat, and Kartik will join us here. If you have any questions for him or for me, feel free to ask.
All right. So hi everyone. This is Kartik from Envision. So that now that you have some information about how to get started with Envision Glasses, we already have some of the questions in the comments. So we'll first start to go through them. But if any of you would like to come on the webinar and have a chat directly with us, you can use like a raise hand functionalities that is in the Zoom, and we can actually invite you on as a panelist, and you can also have a chat with us.
Okay. I will firstly start with the Q&A. I see two questions, one by Sasha Paul and one by Hiroyuki. Firstly, Sasha Paul asking us, what is the difference in recognition quality for instant and scan? For the instant text, what I explained earlier, scan text is a little bit slower, but much more accurate. So if you know it is a small text, it's a small text, it is more text, definitely recommend using scan text. If it's a larger text, what I just showed with the booklet, this is fine for instant text. So instant text is faster, quicker. What I usually do, or some of our users actually also do, is start with instant text. If you notice maybe it doesn't speak out right or the right way or correctly, then switch to scan text, double tap, and it will take a picture of the text that you have. So that is the difference in quality, and also the difference in in speed. So how fast do you need it? The second question is from Hiroyuki. Question about Envision Ally. When the Ally has users signed in on multiple devices, can the Ally get a notification from Envision only on one device? And will it be possible to get a notification on multiple devices? Very interesting question. Let me think about this. Kartik, do you have any idea?
No, so I think like as of now, it's only possible to get the notification on a device. But this is a good idea that we can actually take a look into if a user can be logged on with the same information into a multiple devices, and this should be a possibility that we can actually make it happen.
Yeah. I think some people also asked questions. Oh yeah, some questions in the chat. So I will also answer those. I see one from Sandy Brow. What is the right distance to keep a document for instant text? That again really depends on the instant text. What I usually do is I hold my hand a little bit in like about 90 degrees and hold it a little bit to the right, because the camera is located to the right. So it's not totally to the right, but just a little bit on the right side of your eye. And usually it's about 40 centimeters. And yeah, again, for this, it is about practice. Try to see which distance is the best for you. And what I would also like to add is if you're doing instant text or there's a certain document that you're using, I have some books here. So if I would want to be sure that the outcome of the text that I'm scanning is correct, I'll usually keep it somewhere towards a wall or away from other text, so I know this is the only text that I have. So that is for the instant text. I hope that.
If I can add to that, so like a distance also very much depends on like size of the text itself. So if it's a bigger piece of text, so if it's like a symbol, or if it's I would say like a name of a shop at a distance, or if it's sort of like a room number or something that is big, then you can actually scan that from like a distance. But yeah, if it's actually something on a document, on a piece of like paper, then it needs to really be closer to you. So it sort of like helps if you understand the context and you're sort of I would say incorporating that into taking the picture.
Yeah, definitely a great addition. And then the second question from Sandeep is whether Sandeep is having issues with the call feature and whether it should be on the same network when you have your when you're using the Ally app, if I'm correctly. For the Ally app to work, you need an internet connection. So right now I am connected to the Wi-Fi here at home. It doesn't have to be connected to the same Wi-Fi as my phone because it goes all through the glasses. So whether I'm connected to a Wi-Fi network or if I'm connected to my hotspot of my phone, it will both work. It doesn't have to do with your phone in that case.
Yeah. And Sandeep, if you're having any specific like issues with having to make a call, I'm happy to like jump on a call with you, like separately to take a look into it and like see how we can be able to help you best.
I see some other questions similar to what Sasha asked earlier. It's about the distance. So once again, what also Kartik mentioned is really dependent on the size of the text, how far it can be. For instant text, it's quite amazing that sometimes it picks up text from far away. So it's really dependent on the size. And same for the scan text is dependent on the font size of a text, usually about 50, 60 centimeters, a little bit more to the right, but it is also dependent on the page. Let's go through the other questions. Okay, does the device go into pause mode when you're wearing it and when you're doing a short press on the power button? Okay, Sasha has two questions. One is the device, whether it goes into pause mode. So one is indeed the sleep mode. I'm wearing the Envision Glasses now, but because I'm not using it, it is in a sleep mode, which means it's not using a lot of battery. Secondly, the short press on the power button, what it does, it wakes the glasses or puts it to sleep. So only by tapping once on this power button, you can get the glasses awake again. But I can also do this by double tapping on the touchpad. Well, it does normally. I can also tap or activate the touchpad, which also awakes the Envision Glasses. So as I said before, there are multiple ways of putting your glass to sleep or getting it awake again.
I see a raised like hand, which is from like Pete. So I would like to invite a Pete to the panel. Pete, can you unmute yourself and ask us your question?
Oh, right. Am I unmuted, Karthik?
Yes, Pete, we can hear you now.
Oh, good. I thought I was muted. I don't know if this is for now or if you want to talk to me separately about it. I have the glasses, but what I'm finding is happening when I press the button for a couple of seconds, I get the tone, the descending tone, to indicate they've gone, powered off. But then when I close the glasses up, put them away, when I open them up again, they power up without me pressing a button. If I just wait for about a minute, then I hear it do the power up jingle and speak to let me know it's on the home page. So I'm not sure they're really powering off completely. So last night, for instance, I hadn't used them for about 5 days, but I had, heard the tune that they'd shut down when they were full after I charged them. But when I turned them on last night, the battery was dead, as if they'd been awake all the time.
Yeah. So let me answer those questions like in two parts. So in like first part, when you said that when the device like is powered off, and then when you open up the glasses, they're automatically like powering on
after about a minute.
Yes. So that's actually what happens because like the hinge of the glasses they actually act as an activating thing.
All
So
right,
when the
yes.
device is powered off and you open up the hinge, it actually starts like to power on the device. So if you would like to keep the device like shut down, then yeah, I would recommend you to actually keep the hinge in a folded up position itself, because as soon as you open up the hinge, the glasses start to think that you're actually going to power on the device, and it automatically like is powering that on for you. So that's a hardware like functionality that is in there.
Yes.
And the second part, like even when it is completely, I would say, powered off, there is still a drop in the battery. That's also an expected, behavior. Even when it's completely powered off, the battery is something that would, have a discharge, of course, at a much slower rate than if it's actually on. So what we have noticed that when the glasses are completely like turned off, then there is still a discharge, I would say, rate between 10 to like 20% a day. So that's
Right.
sort of
That explains
like
that. Yep.
yeah. So that is sort of like a rate that we have observed, and of course it is a different depending on the conditions, if it's out in the cold or if it's inside in a heat. But yeah, that is expected that it will also have a discharge when it's completely powered off.
Right. That explains it. I was just puzzled. When I went to turn it on, I thought, well, I haven't used them, and the battery's dead, but they charged up quickly. If I could ask a second one, but perhaps more a suggestion than a question. Well, in the scanning mode, is it possible to make it that instead of making a beeping sound, because I have several other scanning packages and programs, and some of them can actually tell you when you've got the document in view, so if you're holding it, it might say 2 corners in view or 3 corners in view, and then it would give a different indication to let you know you've got the whole document in the screen at once. Because obviously with the tone, it's very helpful, but it's judging which is the maximum tone to let you know you've got everything there.
Yes, that is like a good suggestion, and it is actually something that we looked into a lot when doing the development of the glasses, because we do have a similar functionality in the Envision app which is actually able to detect the edges of a document and give you information of whether all the edges are in the frame or not.
Yes.
But when we were doing the development of it, what we found that the edge detection, it wasn't as accurate when you're like trying to hold a document in front of you as it is when a document is on the table and you're just trying to scan it with a phone.
Yes.
Because the edges of a document are a lot more clearly defined, and it's against a background which it can be very easily segmented from. So that makes it easier. But when you're actually like you're holding the document in like your hand in front of you, so there are two things happening. Like the first one is that like your hand is sort of obscuring a bit of the edges, so it's very difficult for the AI to detect the edges because a part of it is being I would say held on with your hands.
Yes.
And the second thing is when you're holding something in front of you with your hand, there's often something in the background, so it's very difficult for the AI to be able to like to isolate the document from everything else that's in the background. So those were the two I would say tech difficulty that we kept on running into, and we were not say confident in the capability of those edge detection. So that's why we instead put efforts into building like a text detection.
Yes, I'm with you.
But that said,
I understand that.
There is still ongoing R&D that we're doing. We are still, looking at a different way of approaching this with a building, like an AI that can actually detect the edges of a document even when it's being like held in somebody's hand. So that is something that is constantly something that Envision is looking into, and there is a very high likelihood that we'll actually introduce like such a feature in the future.
All right, good. One final one. Sorry. As the battery does, lose power even when it's off, would it be harmful if I left it when I'm indoors and not using it for a few days? Would it be harmful to leave it connected to its charger even when it's turned off?
No, it won't be harmful. It's just going to like function as a battery of anything, any other electronic device that
Nice.
you have. So yeah, if you do
Right.
leave it plugged in, it's going to be pretty safe. So don't
Oh,
worry
good.
about that.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for your answers, Kathik.
All right, Pete. Thank you so much for
Thank,
coming on.
thank you.
All right.
Not sure if there are any other hands, but I see I missed two questions in the chat, so I will quickly answer those as well. One is from Trevor. It's asking whether the device is waterproof. It is not waterproof, though it is water resistant, which is a IPX3 rating. So if there's some water on it when you're walking outside with rain, it won't be a harm, but it is not waterproof, as in that you can't swim with it. And then one more from Sandeep is the confirmation whether there are no voice comments. As of now, there are no voice comments, but it is definitely worth working on, and it is in the pipeline. As I mentioned earlier, every time we bring new features and new updates every month, and hopefully soon we will also have the voice commands. That is something in the future to look for. If you have any feedback, any things you think are should be as of the first thing, please let us know, send us an email, let us know whether it's good feedback or bad feedback, both. We're really happy to receive all the feedback. So also whether you're really looking for the voice commands, please let us know. One more from Sasha Paul is changing the punctuation level. It should pick up the punctuation from the screen reader. Not sure exactly. Is there anything you would add for that, Kartik?
Yes, Sasha. So as of now, so like a TTS, like functionality is sort of like a minimum, take TTS of functionality, because we actually had to build the screen reader on these devices by ourselves. We could not make use of any of the existing, sort of screen reader technologies like the voiceover or the talkback. So the, like the functionality of that is a minimum, but yeah, like if there is, something that we can improve upon. So if you could actually shoot us an email with a bit more of a detail on exactly what you mean by adjusting the punctuation level, we definitely are going to look into it and sort of offer functionalities for people to be able to customize their like screen reader even more. And I see a raised hand. It's from a phone number, so I'm not really sure who it is, but I'm going to bring that person in the call. Can you unmute yourself and ask us your question?
Hello from Sweden.
Oh, hi.
This is George Diamond. Yeah. We are wondering when will Swedish be added to this to these glasses?
All right. Now that's a good question. So as of now, the entire app has already been translated into Swedish, and you will have an update coming out in 2 weeks' time, which will actually have the Swedish translations and the localizations in the classes.
In 2 weeks' time, you say?
Yes, in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, we can get it there. Okay, that's good. I have tried today to use it to read text in Arabic and in Swedish, of course, but with English, and it worked fine. But I had this offline OCR mode on at the beginning, and as I was connected to Wi-Fi, it read gibberish. But then I closed it to offline. I made it offline is off, and it needed the Wi-Fi actually. It says this function requires Wi-Fi, so without Wi-Fi it never worked. But when it is off, anyhow, it read text correctly as I experienced it.
Yes. So that's like a good thing to mention is that the offline recognition of the text, currently it only is doing it for like Latin based scripts, so it can only do the recognition of English, Swedish, and things like that. So that's what it will do. And
yes, I did it. I was trying it on Latin based.
Okay. Yeah, then it should have functioned without any interruptions. Of course, the accuracy of the online recognition is going to be a lot more accurate than the offline one. So there is a trade-off between speed and accuracy. So yeah, that is something that we'll definitely be improving in the future to also improve accuracy of the offline one. But if you want like a fast outcome, then you should have the offline mode enabled. If you want a more accurate outcome, we would recommend you to have the online version enabled.
Yes, but if I have it enabled, do I have to turn Wi-Fi off? Turn my router off so that it works?
No. You don't have to turn on router or anything. You just have to have the offline mode enabled
Yes.
or disabled.
I
That should
have
be
to
enough.
close the router, the router so that it works. Because when the router is on, it is reading gibberish.
That shouldn't be the case, actually. I think if I want to add to that, if you're using the offline mode, so offline mode is enabled, it means you can use the instant text offline. It doesn't mean you have to turn off your router or anything. You can still be connected to the internet, but it will always it will use the instant text without using internet. So even if you're connected with the glasses to your Wi-Fi, so it's not it doesn't have to do anything with your router. But if you are connected to the internet, you can also use the offline mode disabled, so the online instant text. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Finally, is there any possibility of adding currency recognition?
Yes, that is something that we're definitely looking into, and there is a very good chance that we will probably introduce a currency recognition feature into the glasses in the beginning of next year.
Okay, thank you very much, and we will wait for Swedish.
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We have one more question in the chat from Sasha. Sasha is asking whether there is a quick way to change the volume level and whether that it will be helpful to do that. That is something also we're working on, as we noticed that the sound is, of course, really important. As of now, in the feature, when you call an ally, you can turn on or off, increase or decrease the volume. So whenever you're calling an ally, you can increase or decrease the volume, what you're hearing. On the system level, so can I do it immediately wherever I am? There is not the possibility of it, but we are looking into that as well to see if we can make special gestures or certain actions where you can allow it, where it's easier to decrease and increase the volume. So it's definitely also something we're looking into, and hopefully we can introduce in the next in one of the next updates.
All right. We also have a question from Mitsuo Suzuki, who is asking if there is a carrying the case for the Envision glasses, or if there are a third party cases that we can make a recommendation of. Yes, Mitsuo. So we are currently working on offering a case of Envision glasses as well. So it is a carrying case that you can put the glasses into. I actually have a prototype of that with me, which we just had from our suppliers. I'm actually holding it up now to the camera. So it's sort of a case, which is very similar to a carrying case for a pair of spectacles. It has got a little handle on the outside of it. It opens up with a zipper, and inside you have sufficient space to put down your glasses. And on top there is also a pouch where you can put the charging cables and things like that. So this is a case that we are currently working on. There is a delay in the supply chain from our suppliers, and because of still there being a COVID issues there. But then we are very confident that within a month's time we should actually be able to get a supply of this. And to everybody who made a pre-order, we'll actually be shipping out these cases to them for free. So everybody who did make a pre-order of these glasses will get a custom, I would say a case of these glasses. But it is going to take at least a month for us to be able to ship that out to you. In the meanwhile, there are some alternatives that a lot of users have been able to find, and it's often in terms of a carrying case for spectacles. So you can actually go to a local optical store in your area, and you can ask them for a carrying case that would actually be big enough to fit the glasses of Envision. That usually it should work fine. Or what you can also do is go to a local electronics store and look for a carrying case for devices that are of a similar dimension. So what we have found that if you get carrying case for like a shaver or like a trimmer, like those you have a similar dimension as the glasses of Envision. So that's something that you can do in the meanwhile. And in about like a month's time, you should actually be able to also get the like a custom case of these glasses from Envision itself.
I would like to add one more thing. What Carter just mentioned is the best way indeed to get a case or something similar what you get for spectacles. One thing we also see is that if you really don't have anything as of right now, what you can do as well is fold the glasses and put it in the original box actually, and make sure there's some padding or plastic around it. It is not perfect by any means, but it is something that you can, so you can carry it around without damaging it.
Stuart has a question in the comments, and he's asking, do you have any plans to implement iOS shortcuts to support the glasses? Yes, that is something that we definitely are looking into with respect to the apps. We have already introduced a bunch of shortcuts for our iOS app. So yeah, there is possibilities to actually implement like shortcuts. So if you have any specific ideas on what kind of like shortcuts that you would actually like to see, just let us know and we'll be very happy to take a look into it and implement it as soon as possible.
Do you have any other raised hands?
No, I think we have been able to cover a lot of the questions. I think this is
from Sasha.
Yeah.
While using the Ally mode, can you still use the text recognition feature and train the user with or support scanning? As of now, that is not possible. The Ally mode is just about the calling, but also for the Ally, we would love to hear your thoughts about it, whether there are things we can add, things you would like to see. As of now, it is not possible, but the Ally app, we're also working on that to see how we can improve the user experience on the Ally. Finally, I would like to add one more thing before we're almost getting to the end of this webinar, is also the handwritten text, which I missed during the first part of explaining the features. So what I did now in the very beginning is scan text from books and papers, but also the handwritten text can also be scanned as a final note to that.
All right. I think that's a good note to end the webinar on. So like a thank you all for coming you're on and like being a part of it. I think like what we would like to emphasize again is that this is sort of the first version of these glasses, and now that it's out in the hands of the users, we are really dependent on you to give us like feedback on which are the features that we should be focusing on, what are the things to improve, and what are the things to add, because that's what we will be setting up priority orders on the basis of. So we would really appreciate if all of you could sort of offer us or like a feedback and really speak to our team as to what are the exactly sort of like a development strategy that Envision like should adapt in order to ensure that you have the best experience as we go forward together. All right, everyone, on that note, I hope you have a good weekend ahead, and I thank you again for coming on and staying in touch with us. And I'm pretty sure we'll continue to stay in touch, like through all the other means.
Have a great weekend all.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye-bye.